Hello, friends. I'm really glad you were able to join us today. This is January 25th, Wednesday. It's just hard to believe that we're in the last week of January. It's just hard to imagine. So it's another great opportunity that I have to be able to visit with you today. I love visiting. I love visiting people. I was on several visits last night where I'll go and maybe follow up on people that visit our church and just drive up, knock on the door, and say, "Hey, thank y'all for coming. Don't want to bother you, but I just want to visit for a minute." And I love visiting. I'm glad to get to visit with you today on this Wednesday. I hope it will be a great day for you. And I just have so there's just so much God is doing. You know, we sing the song "God is on the Move," and that's one of our favorite songs. And I can't even wrap my mind around the way that God is on the move here at our church, the Community Church in Mount Pleasant. I was talking to Ken earlier about Monday was just a significant day. We signed the papers and we closed on the 25 acres of property that God has led us to that will be our home. And now it belongs to us, the Community Church of Mount Pleasant, 25 acres. And I stopped for a minute Monday and I became emotional because we stay busy and we keep moving, and I just stopped and I just thought about all that God had done in really less than 2 years and in such a short amount of time. And I remember the times we were praying for 2 acres and 1 acre and 2.5 acres so that we could be compliant and have a place to meet and have a place to have a church. And now God has given us 25 acres here in a wonderful location, and we can begin to submit site plans and work toward building buildings and having a home, having a place for God's people to meet, and a place where we can build a lighthouse, not just a building, a place where we lift up Jesus for this community. And so I don't really know how to express just the thankful heart that we want to have as a church toward our Lord for the way that He has made provision for us as a church family. So congratulations, Community Church of Mount Pleasant. You now have a home of 25 acres, and I'm excited. I'm always excited, but more than ever, God has validated and encouraged and proven to be faithful. And so I'm just thankful we're able to follow Him and follow His leadership, and He's taken us to this good place. Sunday was an amazing day, as it is every Sunday. I always think, wow, what a great Sunday. It just can't get any better than this, and it seems like that it does. It seems like God just continues to amaze us. And we're talking about the miracles of Christ. Sunday was our second miracle, and it was the miracle of the demons being cast out of the maniac. They called him a maniac of Gadara because of his actions, because he was controlled by these demons. And Jesus Christ, the Son of God, was much more powerful than the demons, and He cast them out, and it brought attention to who He was and His deity. So Sunday was a great day, and then our worship team sang for the first time the song Chainbreaker. And wow, it was a really neat, intense, powerful moment in our church on Sunday. So just thanks to the Lord, thanks to you, our church, and people that work so hard. We had a great place weekend. We will have these on a regular basis. We have one coming up in March, and then May and July and September. I want you to get involved with our place weekends if you haven't yet. It's a life changer, and I want to encourage you for that. Sunday was just an amazing day. Let me talk to you about a couple things that are coming up. This Saturday, I want to talk to all our men, and maybe if the wives are listening, you can prompt your man to or your sons to come to this event. Saturday, we're going to have our monthly prayer breakfast. This will be the first one in the year, the first prayer breakfast, obviously in January, and it will be this Saturday. Which is the 28th. We'll meet at 9 o'clock here at the farm, and we will eat downstairs at the barn, and we'll have a wonderful breakfast as we always do. Now, something different though this time. After we have breakfast, we will load up and we'll drive down Dutch Road, and we'll turn left on Highway 73, and we'll go about less than a mile to our new property on 73. And we're going to walk and pray, and we'll really have our prayer time on our new property as a group of men together. So I'm real excited about Saturday. Saturday will be the first time we'll gather with just a group of men, and we'll go pray on the property, the land that God has given us. So it's a special thing. And so, men, I hope you can come Saturday. We'll eat at 9 here at the farm, and then we'll drive over to our new property. It's just a few miles away, very close, and I think it'll be an anointed time by the Lord. We'll just ask God's blessing, lay hands on that property, and ask God to anoint that land and set it apart for His use for the future. Kind of commit that to Him. And then, of course, our men's conference is coming up next weekend, February 3rd and 4th. We'll go down to First Baptist Church, Woodstock, Georgia, Pastor Johnny Hunt, and we've been here before. Took a large group last year. Looks like this year we'll have even more. And still can go. You still can register. There's a place in the bulletin, and we can help you Sunday if you want to register. You need to let us know so we can get you in the hotel room. We have a block of hotel rooms, so man, I want you to go. Hey, take your sons and go to the men's conference. It's going to be a great time. And one more event I want to give you as I look at February, the month that is before us. Friday night, February 10. It's the weekend of Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day, I believe the 14th, I believe is on a Tuesday. So we're going to do something special Friday night, the 10th of February. And we're going to have a Valentine's party. This is a church function, and it's not necessarily a banquet, although it can serve as that if you'd like to kind of make it that way. We'll decorate, and we'll have pictures, and we'll be all Valentine's-y, but we want to kind of make it a church-wide party, a church-wide function here. We'll have it here at the farm, and it's just going to be a great time. I think it'll be a fun time, and we'll celebrate. And we haven't had a lot of functions together outside of Sunday morning as a church. This will be kind of the first of 2017. So February 10th, Friday night, we'll have a little Valentine's party, and you'll hear more about that Sunday. So I want you to go ahead and put that on your calendar. We'll have a nice meal. There'll be a minimal fee, and just be a really fun time, and I'm excited about that. So those are some things coming up, and again, we want to communicate well, and I'm excited about that. So I want to do a little devotional for you today, and I want to kind of wrap up. We've been doing devotions on the new year, 2017. It's January. It's the first month, and the first few days and weeks. Now we're into 2017, and kind of my last thought maybe is out of Psalms chapter 65. I want to read verses 9 through 13, and there's a really almost a funny illustration here that the psalmist gives us, and it's words. I always say to our church, words are important. Listen carefully, listen closely to words and how sentences are crafted, because words are the way that we paint pictures, and we verbalize to visualize. And so a funny little passage here that I think can help us as we look forward to the year 2017, the year that is before us. The psalmist talks about a year on the earth, a year ahead, and this passage is a very positive, encouraging thought for this future year that is ahead of us. So, let me read to you Psalm 65, beginning with verse 9. The psalmist said, "Thou visitest the earth and waterest it." God visits the earth. This is His creation, and He visits the earth. He waters it. "Thou greatly enrichest it with the river of God, which is full of water. Thou preparest them corn, when thou hast so provided for it." And he's talking about the harvest. He's talking about how he prepares the earth with water and rain so that crops can grow. And the psalmist is referring to this whole concept of how God blesses the earth, and He blesses His people. And he says He gives us water and prepares them corn when thou hast so provided for it. Verse 10. "Thou waterest the ridges thereof abundantly. Thou settlest the furrows thereof. Thou makest it soft with showers. Thou blessest the springing thereof. God is doing this process of preparing the earth to bless it and give it abundant growth and crops and fruit. And so God is softening the ground, and there's so many parallels here. I think for every physical example in the Bible, there's a spiritual parallel. So as God prepares the earth with water from heaven, He softens that ground and that soil, and He prepares it to grow the crops that we need to survive. And so the same process happens in your life spiritually. God sometimes prepares your heart, which at times may be hardened. It may be dry. Your eyes may be dry sometimes. And things may happen to cause you to feel cold and hard and heartbreaks. But yet God softens that with water and tears, because He's about to do a work in your heart and prepare fruit that's going to grow. Verse 11, and this is kind of what I laugh at when I read it. Thou crownest the year with thy goodness, and thy paths drop fatness. And again, this is another one of those good King James words that I like. Here's this illustration that is given here. God is going to bless the earth with fatness. Now, the connotation that in the society that we live in today of fatness is not good. In fact, sometimes it's the brunt of jokes. People make fun sometimes, and fatness is not a great thing. But I want to tell you what the psalmist is saying. Fatness means blessing. God is going to bless the earth with fatness. When He says that, He means fullness. He doesn't mean a little skinny, anemic crop. He means a full, abundant, fat blessing. He will bless the earth with fatness, with fullness. And I laughed when I started reading this passage, and I thought, wow, our concept of fatness is not the same thing as the psalmist was talking about here. Now let me finish. Verse 12. They drop upon the pastures of the wilderness, and the little hills rejoice on every side. Fatness produces happiness in this regard. It produces abundance. And in this time, fatness symbolized that you were rich, that you were well-to-do, that you had been blessed abundantly. Verse 13, the pastures are clothed with flocks. The valleys also are covered over with corn. They're covered with crops. It's a full season of crops because of the fatness of the land. They shout for joy. They also sing because God has blessed the earth with abundance, with fatness. Now let me summarize what we've just read. The psalmist was convinced that Israel would have an abundantly good year. How about you? What kind of year do you think 2017? And you know, I think we have a victim's mentality sometimes, because I heard people say, wow, 2016 was a horrible year. It was terrible. Really? Really? Well, that may be a matter of perspective. And perhaps you mean that some difficult things happened in 2000. I get that. I get that. Well, 2017, what kind of year is that going to be? Is that going to be a year of fatness, as the psalmist was saying here? The psalmist was convinced that Israel would have an abundantly good year when God poured out His blessings on the land. Spiritually, God can pour out His blessings on you, on our church, on you personally, your job, your family, your home. God can give you fatness. He can give you blessings and richness and fullness. And that's what the psalmist said. God will care for the land. And then verses 9 through 13 develop the theme of God's blessings on the land. God's control of the water produces grain. God's rain showers prepare the land for produce, for fruit, for crops, for abundance of blessings. So sometimes oh no, it's raining. Oh man, another rainy day, a sad day. Guess what? God is preparing us for fatness when it rains. When you have rainy days in your life, and I know they're not fun, I know it makes you sad, I know there will be bumps and disappointments, perhaps God is preparing you for a time of fullness, a time of fatness, a time of blessing. God's blessing produces abundant harvest. God causes uncultivated areas to be enriched with grass. In a word, the flocks and the grain flourish under His blessing. Verse 13. The psalmist concluded that all of nature shouts for joy. That is, abundant fruitfulness testifies to God's blessing. 2017, a lot of it has to do with our outlook. And we can say, oh no, this is going to be a terrible, look what happened, oh no. Perhaps God is watering the land. Perhaps He is softening your heart and preparing you for a fullness, a fatness of abundance of blessings. I am praying that 2017 has already been phenomenal in the life of our church. Just this week, God's blessings are abundant. And this fatness, this spiritual blessing is ahead of us in 2017. Man, I'm excited that you joined us today. Hope you can come Sunday. It's going to be a great day. We're excited about all the things God is doing. We are a part of this wonderful miracle. I hope you have a great day. Thank you for joining us today.